This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. A good Wednesday morning. Another day. I'd say another $1, but the way our economy's going, it may be another 50 cents. You guys, you know, if you don't want to hear about politics, if you don't want to hear about the underbelly of politics, don't listen to me. Turn it on another station, and, you know, if you can't take the truth, don't listen. Now, I may not deliver the truth the way you want to hear it, but I'm going to tell you the way it is because I want you to listen to me, and then I want you to research everything I say, and everything I say you'll find out is correct. I'm not that smart. I research. I've got people sending me information every day, emailing, texting, telephones, letters. And I want to tell all you people I sincerely appreciate that. It makes me look smart. And anybody that has anything on any of these son of a bitches, don't hesitate to give us a call, fax it to us, email it to us. We'll be more than happy to research it. And if we find out it to be true, now there's a lot of things we get that we find out not to be true, and they're about our enemies sometime. But I want to be fair across the board. You guys know it's election year, and everybody is talking election. Everybody is talking election, and they're going to continue until November the 8th, including me. And again, if you don't want to hear about politics, if you don't want to hear about these ass-white politicians on both sides of the aisle, turn it on another show. And maybe you shouldn't come back, because I'm going to talk about politics. I'm going to talk about the underbelly of politics. I'm going to talk about these rotten, no-good son of a bitches that are screwing us. I'm going to talk about whatever I want, whenever I want, about whoever I want. Some people don't like that. You know, I get people bad rapping me every day. And I don't mind. Hell, I don't mind being bad rapped. Because if you're bad rapped, apparently you're under somebody's skin. And that's true. These guys get under my skin a little bit, not a whole lot, but I think I need to expose everyone who's doing wrong. Democrats, Republicans, men, women, black and white. They don't really get under my skin because I feel this is a service. This is a service that you good people don't have anywhere else. This is a service that you people cannot get anywhere else. But here, guy handed me a copy of the Belleville News Slimocrat. You guys look, if you have a copy. Page one, there's a little bit of news. And then page 2, there's just a bunch of advertising. Page 3, 4, and 5, people, are nothing but obituaries. You get a paper and you look at it now and you'll say, that Romanik's right. Page 3, 4, and 5 of the 5-page front page section is obituaries. That tells you the new Slimocrat. I mean, anytime somebody writes anything bad about me, they get it in the paper. Now, I've had people write good and say, Bob, I said something good about you, but the new Slimocrat the new Slimocrat never printed it. Well, they're not going to print it, and that's okay. I understand. They don't like me, but see, I give them recognition, usually negative. But if something comes up good, I will applaud them and salute them. But the local newspaper, one page of partial news and 4 pages of obituaries, and that's all in the front section. Then there's less. Then it gets worse. And I say that for the mere point because I want to congratulate Belleville in East St. Louis. I don't have it handy. Yes, I do, right here. Altoff, we want to congratulate. In the Class 4, they're 4-0. They're ranked number 1 in state rankings. 2 local teams ranked number 1. Altoff in Class 4A, ranked number 1 in the state by the Associated Press. So we want to congratulate the Altoff Crusaders. And also, my alma mater, the East St. Louis Flyers, we want to congratulate you guys. They're number 1 in Class 7A. They're 4-0 this season. Great football teams. But I want to segue to that because we tried to broadcast some of the Belleville football games up here on KQQZ. You know, we're good enough to broadcast the Chicago Bears, and we are. We broadcast the Chicago Bears professional football games every week right here on KQQZ 1190 AM. And also, we're not only the home of the Chicago Bears, we're the home of the Fighting Illini, the University of Illinois Fighting Illini. We broadcast all their Fighting Illini football games and all their Fighting Illini basketball games and got a great listening audience because there's a lot of alumni from University of Illinois in our listening area, which is about 4 million people. Great 100-mile radius, 120-mile radius for both of our stations. Two giant stations. We're actually St. Louis stations, but since I live here in Belleville, I'm too lazy to drive over in all the traffic, and you can broadcast from anywhere. But having said that, we wanted to localize 1190 a little bit. Mark Pussy Boy Eckert, Maximus Vaginas, stopped us from broadcasting the high school games in Belleville, stopped us from broadcasting Lindenwood College games. And see, people, that's what you get. These politicians want to get in every aspect of your life. But isn't it a shame that this radio station can broadcast the Chicago Bears professional football team, be the broadcast home of the Chicago Bears, be the home of the Fighting Illini, the University of Illinois, but we can't broadcast the local basketball games, the local football games, because the politicians don't like us. Well, we don't give a damn what you politicians like. We give a damn about what the people like. I had several people say, Bob, why don't you do more local things? You know how many people would like to advertise on this station? Because we reach out. And that's what advertising is about, reaching out to several 100,000 people. We reach out to 4 million people. But they're afraid to advertise because we don't want Kern mad at us. We don't want Sprague. We don't want Eckert, because they'll start screwing with our property taxes. They'll start screwing with everything. They'll start coming by the house and saying we've got something wrong with our house. Isn't it a shame to have to live like that? But St. Clair County is a cesspool when it comes to political corruption, people. You know that, Democrats and Republicans. These Democratic bastards for the last 40 years have intimidated us, have threatened us, and have arrested us, me being one. And you see what happens. As long as you fight them, people, and I fought them hard, and I'll fight them again. I'll fight them for me, and I'll fight them for you. This crap never should happen. We've got some callers. Let's don't keep them waiting. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Good morning, Bob. Maximus the JJ. That cracked me up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to give you an opportunity to give you some information so you can keep it alive and keep your supporters and your voters for the Freedom Coalition. Remind them daily. Don't listen to the polls. I got the most unusual polling phone call yesterday. First of all, the young lady spoke a combination of Mandarin and Guatemalan. I don't know what the hell her accent was, but it was affected. It was not real. I couldn't tell. They're very distinct. For a moment it would sound Asian, and then it would sound South or Central American. And I thought, okay, that's a fake accent. She has no control over it. And then she proceeded to ask me, if the election were held today, would I vote for? It was supposed to be a national poll. The only national question she asked me was about Trump and Clinton. And then she got down to local politics, and I thought, wait a minute, this is a national poll. Why are you bringing up Mark Kern's name? And she said, if the election were held today, would you vote for Democrat Roger Cook or Republican Mark Kern?
Well, wait a minute. Did they flip the script?
They flipped the script on Kern and Cook, and they flipped the script on, it just flew out of my head. Bost and Barra Civic. And by the way, as long as I've known the family, they've been the Barra Civics. Are they trying to distance themselves here?
Yeah, there you go.
So when I proceeded to ask her, I actually accused her. I said, wait a minute, what's going on here? You're flipping who the Democrat is and who the Republican is, and right away she started speaking in that real thick, weird accent, very quickly giving out the name and the address of the polling company somewhere in Virginia, and click, she hung up. I've had several polling calls, and they always last at least 7 or 8 minutes, and that's fine, but they usually come on my cell phone, which is odd, and this one lasted less than 2 minutes. So they got caught, I busted them, they hung up, because I wanted to know who paid for that poll. The only ones that would benefit from questions skewed in that fashion are local Democrats.
You know what, honey? You're exactly right. And let me tell you, and I know you're an astute political follower, these guys, Kern, and you've heard me before, Kern has spent and going to spend about $500,000, not on the election, on ads for him. The Democratic other candidates are mad because Kern and Patty Sprague are single shooting. Kern has never been in this much trouble. And let me tell you what, come November the 8th, I think, honey, it's the perfect storm. And don't let these people say, oh, Kern's going to win. Don't go out there. Kern's going to win. There's no sense of going out to vote. These guys haven't been challenged this hard in 40 years, Cynthia, not this hard in 40 years. They don't know what to do. The latest scam is they've given a bunch of money, $100,000 I've been told, and I'm going to check, don't know for sure, but I know it's been a lot of money. They're trying to organize the blacks in the west end of Belleville. They've lost half of the Proud Black support down in East St. Louis. They've lost support in Allerton, Centerville, Cahokia. And now Kern has given some boys down in Centerville some money to come up. Kern's not going to do it. He's going to send a black man to go down there to the west end of Belleville, because there's a lot of blacks have moved into the west end of Belleville. They're running scared. And you good people of St. Clair County, it's been 40 years. Let's make a change. Let's make a difference. Every vote will count. Cynthia, do you think these guys are afraid or not?
They're terrified. And just so you know, people, he's exactly right. My driver had to take me to the doctor the other day. And by the way, hi, Michael. He loves you. He couldn't wait for your show to come on.
Well, tell Michael we thank him and love him too. Yeah. So you went to the doctor.
Down there, I did the ratio. One corner had multiples, had several of the Democrat St. Clair County candidates in one small corner, a vacant corner. And then there was a large billboard of Kern coming up by the Flying J on Route 15. Every other sign down there was all on private property, not vacant lots, and they were all Freedom Coalition parties. The ratio was their 2 signs to your 17.
Yeah. But you know what? And that is right, because we're out there busting our ass, because we're not going to take anybody for granted. We're all over this county. You know, they're stealing my signs all throughout St. Clair County, and they're not, they're destroying them, and that's okay. Signs don't vote. And I say, when they're taking my signs down, they must be afraid. And I think they're afraid, Cynthia. I think they're more afraid of me because they know I don't give a damn. They know if I get elected, I'm going to go to Springfield and I'm going to fight for the people of my district. I'm not going to fight for the Democrats. I'm not going to fight for the Republicans. I'm going to fight for the people in my district. And how novel is that? Nobody's ever done that before. They go up to Springfield, they go up to Belleville, and they start getting party affiliated. They have to be party affiliated. The only party, Cynthia, I'm going to be affiliated with is the People's Party, the Americans, the people of my district. And I hope my message gets out, not just for me, but for the entire Freedom Coalition ticket. We've got Democrats on that ticket, Cynthia. We've got Republicans. We've got men. We've got women. We've got black and we've got white. How much more diverse can you get? Our mentality and our philosophy is vote the person, not the party. And in these last few years, Cynthia, and I know you're an astute political person, you know how many people actually identify as independents in this great country?
No.
You know, it's about 70%. Now, there's Democratic leanings. There's some people that are independent that have Democratic leanings, and there's people that are independent that have Republican leanings. But they still identify themselves as independent. No longer are they going to vote straight party lines because they're political leaders who make all the money and the rank and file make nothing. The political leaders say, vote that way. You know what most people are saying now? Hey, I got something for you to vote on, and you can sit on it too. And it's not very comfortable. And you know what I mean? And I think you do, Cynthia.
I know exactly what you mean, and I want to say, if the Freedom Coalition makes strides in this election, happy days will be here again. Not because you're going to magically transform us into more wealthy individuals, but because it means the citizenry is finally starting to wake up. I had a friend say to me yesterday, how can they allow such horrible things to happen in Washington? I said, they don't, we do. Every country gets the government that it deserves. We have sat back on our lazy butts for too long, interested in Pokemon and shopping at the mall and going out to eat, and nobody's paying attention to who's pulling the strings on all of us, and it's about time we start, because that's the only way we're going to turn this ship around.
Cynthia, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure talking to a lovely lady like you, because, you know, we don't always have to agree. But see, you've got your finger on the pulse. And I think most people in St. Clair County, most people in the state of Illinois, and I know most people in this country on this presidential election, they've researched it. They've talked to people. They're going around now. They're getting involved in what they should get involved in, politics, because politics dictates to their lives every day. Cynthia, again, thank you very much for the call. I got to say, I talked with Carl yesterday about the NAACP dinner. I think people, and you've heard me, I think people should be treated by their actions and what they do, not by the color of their skin, not how long their hair is, not where they live, the kind of car they drive, but what they do, not how they look, not what they say. If that'd be the case, then I'd be in jail because I don't look good and I don't say good. But this NAACP dinner, you know, I'm a member of the NAACP, and I'm a member because I wanted to help out the black community. I wanted to help out the white community. I want to help out the American community. I'm tired of black this, white this. There's a lot of great white people, and there's some no good son of a bitches. There's a lot of great black people, and there's some no good black bastards, just like there are some white bastards. There's enough crap, there's enough criminality to go around. But I'm a proud white man. And I feel bad for the black community. Because if I belong to a group, whatever the group is, that's supposed to protect me, supposed to watch after me, I want them to protect me. I want them to watch after me. Now, the NAACP, I sincerely respect and appreciate the philosophy of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. I want to see every person of every color advance. Black, white, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Asian. I want to see everybody. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. We all should be members. We all should fight for that because we're all of some color. We're all of some color. But now they're going to have their big dinner. And it's a psychological thing. They're having their big dinner, $150 a ticket. Stanley Franklin's going to put it on. You know who the guest of honor always is? Mark Sweet Cakes Kern. And now his mommy and daddy, not his money. He hasn't earned a penny in his life. He takes money from his mother and father. I'm sure they're great people, hardworking, great people, made a lot of money. And I salute them for that. That's the American way. But you don't sponge off your parents when you're 50 years old, Sweet Cakes. You spend more time trying to find a job and less time in the men's locker room, you'd be a lot better off. But they're going to honor Kern again. His wife's on the board because they give $20,000, $30,000. How shameful. How shameful is it when the NAACP, the East St. Louis chapter, I'm not casting a bad light on most of the NAACP chapters. They tell me Stanley Franklin's endorsing Kern and endorsing all the Democrats. He's only endorsing them because they're bringing a lot of money to his dinner. And I'd like to know, Stanley Franklin, president of the NAACP, where does all that money go? It's not helping the poor black community. I guarantee you, and I challenge you, I've spent more money feeding the poor in East St. Louis than you and the NAACP has in the last 10 years. I'll bet on that, Stanley Franklin. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that factually. Where the hell have you been, Stanley Franklin? You step and fetch for the white boys in Belleville, the president of the NAACP. I talked to my friends at dinner last night. I told them I'm going to talk about it. Bob, you're running. East St. Louis is part of your district. That's all black. I know that. I'm down there every day. You don't have to tell me what color they are. They're proud people, except for the bums, the criminals. And I come up to Belleville in the outer county, they're proud white people, except for some of the criminals. I don't give a damn. You think Kern comes down to East St. Louis? Comes down below the hill to Washington Park, Allerton, Centerville, Cahokia, Brooklyn? Hell no, he does not. He's never driven down there on his own. I'm down there every day with the proud black community. And I want to see the proud black community prosper because I want to see the proud white community prosper. And if we work together, everybody can prosper. Look at that below the hill. Look at the riverfront every time. There's a shot of St. Louis and the beautiful arch, and it is beautiful, a great monument, gateway to the west. It's shot from the Illinois side. That's the best view. Then I ask you, if that's the best view, why isn't it developed on the Illinois side? And I will tell you why, and you good people know. And some of the white people will say, well, I don't give a damn about East St. Louis. I don't give a damn about those blacks. But you ought to. Because I tell you, how East St. Louis goes is how this whole county will eventually go. Think about it. When that riverfront is developed, and if I'm elected state representative, I'll fight every day. I'm going to have my big mouth running up there in Springfield every day. Those bastards are going to give us something down here just to shut me up. Just think about it. With restaurants, with hotels, concert venues, the people that used to live in East St. Louis can come back. I don't go down to East St. Louis in the evening. Not that I'm afraid. I go down there for political reasons, to see my friends. I can't go down there to a nice restaurant, to a nice concert venue, to a nice show, because there's none down there. If we develop the riverfront on the east side, do you understand the tax base that'll be brought to St. Clair County people? People in the outer county, now you're starting to see what I'm telling you. You're starting to see that, whoa, maybe it'll benefit us to develop the riverfront. Hell yes, it will benefit everyone in St. Clair County. We'll bring people over from the Missouri side. Now, I know people say it'll never happen. They say a lot of things will never happen, but a lot of things do happen. It just takes some insight, some hope, a lot of hard work, and it takes us all uniting in St. Clair County to help that once great city of East St. Louis. Let's don't abandon East St. Louis because it's a black community. I wouldn't want my community abandoned because it's primarily a white community. Let's get this colored crap out of the way. Let's sweep this colored crap under the rug. Now, you know, the politicians will say, no, we got to keep them divided. I don't want to divide the white and the blacks, men and women, Democrats and Republicans. Why can't we all work together for a common good? Just because you're a Democrat, you can't vote for something good because a Republican brought it to the table? Or if you're a Republican, you can't vote for something good for the people because a Democrat brought it to the table? And you watch people in Springfield, in Chicago, in Washington, D.C., all these big political venues, they all vote party lines because they're worried about getting reelected. Bob Romanik is not worried about getting reelected. I'm worried about getting elected and doing something for my people. And you know why you never have to worry about getting reelected? You know why you don't have to work so hard to get reelected? If you do right by the people that you represent, you hear me? If you do right by the people that you represent, they're going to elect you. They're going to vote for you every time. You won't need to go out and kiss their ass. You won't need to go out and give them the old okey fadoke. You won't need to go out and lie to them about what you're going to do because they'll have seen what you've done. They'll see what I do in the 114th Legislative District. I'm not going to fight just for East St. Louis, though. I'm going to fight for Smithton. I'm going to fight for Freeburg, Mascoutah, Millstadt, Shiloh, Lebanon, O'Fallon. I'm going to fight for my entire district. And when you fight for your people, when one person benefits in your family, and we all are family, when one person benefits in your family, every family member benefits. Every family member benefits. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Lines are always open. We are America's voice of freedom. Definitely the Patriot. Toll free 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. As always, I want to thank everybody for the emails. Dorothy Joshua, a beautiful lady from East St. Louis. I got to say, she's got bigger testicles than most men I know, because she doesn't mind fighting the fight. So, Dorothy, I say with all due respect, what a lovely lady you are, and you keep up the fight. Dorothy and I don't always agree on everything, but I do agree that Dorothy is a true American, and she's going to tell you the way she feels, because she's got every right to, just like we all do. And Dorothy says, listening to your show, this is a proud black lady from East St. Louis, I call the NAACP the National Association for the Advancement of Caucasian People. And I understand that, Dorothy. I understand that, just like the premise that I talked about earlier. I would assume that she says that because all the East St. Louis chapter of the NAACP does is step and fetch for the white boys. And again, I'm white. Sometimes not real proud to be white. When some of us white ignorant bastards do stupid things, just like when some of the black ignorant bastards do stupid things, I'm sure the proud black community is not very proud. And I have to say, a little footnote, when I talk about the black community, if they're right, I say they're right. If they're wrong, I'll say they're wrong. I do the same with the white community. But my friends, my political friends, I use that term loosely, they're actually my enemies, that Romanik's a racist. The proud black community that knows Bob Romanik, no, they know I'm not a racist. They know I'm a proud white man. How many white people do you see go down to East St. Louis and say I'm a proud white man? I don't say that to disrespect the proud black people, because I want everybody of their race to be proud. And I'll be damned, I'm not a hypocrite. I'll stream it from the rooftops. I'm a proud white man, and I've got a lot of proud black friends. And if you're a proud black, proud white, proud Asian, proud whatever, you're going to do for you and your community. You're going to do for you and your ethnic group. You're going to do for you and your people to make them proud. I've tried to do it. A lot of the proud blacks have tried to do it. So when I talk racial issues, that's exactly what I do. I talk racial issues. I'm not a racist by any means. It's those son of a bitches that are racist that always use that term racist. You ever understand that? Those are the true racists. But anyway, Kern, who throws some of his father's and mother's money around, you heard me, in the black community, and then does nothing, people. He does nothing. The last 12 years, Mark Sweet Cakes Kern has done nothing to improve the quality of the families in East St. Louis and below the hill. He does nothing for the vast majority of the citizens in St. Clair County. Now he's asking after 12 years to reconsider it. Now maybe he's going to do something after. If you don't do something after 12 months, Kern, nothing's going to get done. I think the proud black community in East St. Louis and all below the hill, I think they understand that. That's why the Democrats in St. Clair County are running scared. They're going to all the picnics. They're going to the parades. They've got $400,000 or $500,000 in advertising for a $90,000 a year job, Kern. Think about it. It's unbelievable, people. These guys may have met their match come November the 8th of 2016. And I'm not saying we're better than they are. I'm saying give us a chance. Well, no, I am saying we are better than they are. Hell, Hitler would be better than them. Saddam Hussein would be better than these bastards that have been destroying St. Clair County for all these years, the St. Clair County Democratic culture of corruption. But, Dorothy, you're right. The NAACP, they don't give a damn about the black community. All Stanley Franklin gives a damn about is stepping and fetching for the white boys, so they'll spend $150 to go to the dinner, which, by the way, the East St. Louis chapter's dinner is in St. Louis, and I just proved my point, because there's really no place to have a nice dinner in East St. Louis. And whose fault is that? That's your fault, Stanley Franklin. You should have demanded from Kern and the boys in Belleville, do something for the people of East St. Louis, the people that you're supposed to represent is the president of the NAACP. And Stanley Franklin, give me a call. Let's discuss it. Toll free, 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. I'll discuss it with the Stanley. I know you're a black man, and I don't think you're a proud black man. I don't think you're a proud black man, Stanley Franklin. I think you're Now listen, people. This is Bob Romanik, a white guy, calling the president of the NAACP, the East St. Louis chapter, a plantation Negro, because that's what he is. You proud black people down there don't deserve to be treated like you're being treated by him and the East St. Louis chapter of the NAACP. And you people know I'm telling the truth. The NAACP has done nothing to protect you good people, nothing to advance the people of East St. Louis. You know how I know? I don't have to tell you people. Black and white, Democrats, Republicans, men and women, I don't have to tell you. If you're not Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder, drive down to East St. Louis, and you'll see what I say is correct. You don't need to do a lot of researching. There's nothing down there, nothing. I'm born and raised in East St. Louis. Used to go on Collinsville Avenue. It pisses me off. The proud black community doesn't piss me off. The white boys in Belleville that have control, everything else gets developed. And then the white people in my district will say, Bob, you're fighting too much for the blacks. No, I'm fighting for what's right. Let's do something down there in East St. Louis, because it'll benefit all of us people. There'll be tax dollars coming in. Let's take some of that $15 million a year and take it down to East St. Louis. We don't need to waste it on the airport. If we put $500 million in development in East St. Louis, I guarantee you it would come around. Now, that whole area, the riverfront, we can blight that whole area, people. A 10, 15, 20 block area. Now, maybe it still won't be safe in the inner city of East St. Louis, but it will be if there's enough tax dollars coming in, because they'll be able to get adequate police protection. Do you see how one thing just kind of leads to another, and one leads to another, and another to another? We'll have better fire protection, better police protection. That way more people will want to come down to East St. Louis and spend more money. When more people spend more money in East St. Louis, there's more tax dollars. With the more tax dollars, there's going to be more policemen, more firemen, more development. Do you see how that works? It's easy to explain, and it's easy to do. But the boys in St. Clair County, they want to keep everybody on the plantation down below the hill, because they want to control those votes, because they want to get elected. And that's killing all of us in St. Clair County. So when I say how East St. Louis goes is how St. Clair County goes, now do you understand? Do you understand? And you proud black people below the hill, you keep voting for Kern and Sprague and all these bastards, the Democrats, and you are proud Democrats, but be independent Democrats. Have Democratic leanings, but vote for the person who's going to do something for you and the community, something that's going to make your family's lives better. Kern and Sprague, these guys for the last 30, 40 years, the Democratic control of St. Clair County. There's no one down in East St. Louis can say that it's better in East St. Louis. It gets worse year in and year out. Now, Kern will spend all that money year after year, wasting it at the Mid-America Airport, not generating a penny, costing us millions of dollars, black and white, Democrats and Republicans. Let's find out a way to develop the riverfront in East St. Louis, and that'll be the start. That'll be the start of a new day for all of St. Clair County. You understand me? We'll get people coming over from St. Louis. We'll do the same thing that Allegiant Airlines doing. They're sending our people, flying our people out of St. Clair County to spend their money other places. Let's draw people from the St. Louis side to spend money in our towns in St. Clair County. It can be done, people. We need proper leadership. Roger Cook is proper leadership. Roger Cook led Belleville, got Belleville out of debt a few years back. And then they spent every penny they could to beat him because they didn't want that. They don't give a damn about people in St. Clair County prospering. All they give a damn about is their family and friends. I got a letter here, an email. Somebody from the courthouse, George and Ann Marisick, they both work at the courthouse. They both have nothing but high school educations, and I don't want to short people. A lot of people never had the opportunity for a good education. That doesn't mean they're good people, but you get what you're qualified for. Both have high school diplomas. George Marisick is a committeeman working for Kern. They both make over $100,000 a year, people. Do you understand that? Everybody throughout St. Clair County, men, women, black, white, Democrats, and Republicans, you ought to be appalled as to what's going on at the St. Clair County Courthouse. And I think the perfect storm is coming. Don't let them tell you your vote don't count. And speaking of the courthouse, asswipe Kern and the elected officials are telling everybody at the courthouse, well, if we lose, you guys are going to lose your job. There's nothing further from the truth. You good people, you hardworking people in each of those offices are going to keep your jobs, probably get a raise. Roger Cook and I and everybody from the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, we've come up the hard way. We know what it's like. We're not going to give you a backhand when you come for help. We're going to give you a helping hand. We're going to try to help everybody. And if I'm elected, I don't give a damn if you don't vote for me and you're in my district and you have a problem. I'll try to fix that problem. I will help you because that's what a public servant's supposed to do. I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to take your pulse. Hell, you're a Democrat. Hell, you got the Democratic pulse. I'm not going to help you out with your problem. No, I'm going to help everybody in my district, and that's what all these asswipe political bastards should do. But if you can't help them with the vote, if you can't be for them, if you can't have undying allegiance and sell your soul and your family's soul to the Democratic organization of St. Clair County, you're going to get nothing. Nothing's ever going to get done. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. I'm going to talk about this crap in Charlotte. A policeman killed somebody, had a gun. Now, the criminals, they say protesters, I say criminals. Oh, he had something else in his hand. No, it was a gun. But that gives them reason to beat up police cars, to tear up and destroy police cars. What did that police car do to them? They pulled a tractor trailer over, started everything on the inside on fire. These aren't protesters. These are criminals, both black and white, men and women. But Charlotte having a hell of a time now. We'll come back. We'll talk about it. And I'll tell you what I'll do. If I was the chief, I'll tell you what I'd do if I'm driving down the street and they try to get my car. They're going to be roadkill. Them son of a bitches, black, white, men or women, don't give a damn. They're going to be roadkill. We'll talk about that right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ, 1190 AM. Simulcasting on KZQZ, 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical radio. And we are, as always, very, very, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ, 1190 AM. Simulcasting on KZQZ, 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. As always, again, I want to thank everybody with the emails. Can't get to most of them. Mike Helfrich writes, new listener, could not be happier with the music or the format. Thank you. You are a game changer. No, sir, I'm not a game changer. Our message is going to be the game changer. But thank you very much, Mike, for tuning us in. And we've got a great listening audience, and I want to thank everybody for always taking the time out. I want to thank also, we've got a lot of callers right after my comments about East St. Louis that are saying that makes great sense. We just need to get together, people. Let's get politics. Let's start being business people. I'm a successful businessman. I've made a lot of money in business. I'd like to see everybody make a lot of money. I'd like to see everyone be successful. And we can if we just get the politics, the partisan politics out of our lives. Let's do what's best for the people, not what's best for the politicians. Talk about this shooting in Charlotte, North Carolina. Has a proud black chief of police talking about it. A black officer shot a black suspect with a gun. And the chief's saying now, like he must be listening to my show. Now he's saying, hey, people, the silent majority needs to stand up. Here's what's going to happen, people. You're going to run the decent guys out of police work, and you're going to have your criminals will be the only ones wanting to be policemen. And they're going to rob you as they're taking a report from you. And I'm being a little melodramatic, but you're not going to get good people anymore to be policemen. Now, there's bad apples in the police department, and they're not policemen, they're bums with badges. But they're few and far between, just like the pedophile priest. They're bad priests, few and far between, the bad lawyers, the bad doctors, all the bad politicians. Let's don't hold one or two people. Let's don't make them responsible for the whole profession of law enforcement. But anyway, I saw it on TV this morning. They're kicking the hell out of police cars. Now, I'm glad that I'm not the chief of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'd be back in prison because I'd blow one of their damn heads off. You ain't going to let, them son of a bitches beat the hell out of police cars. They pulled a tractor trailer over, opened it up, and put it on fire. What's that have to do with the policeman shooting an armed man who may have tried to take the policeman's life? Are we as a decent country, black, white, men, women, Democrats, and Republicans, we going to let this crap keep going on? We got to stop this, people. It's going to get worse and worse. I swear, let a son of a bitch. And then they shut down the interstate, a federal interstate. You think any of them went to jail? Hell, I go to jail for allegedly stepping on somebody's concrete. They don't put these asswipes. They're not protesters. They're not protesters anymore. They're criminals. They're thugs. And we need to treat them like thugs. The chief of police said, trying to be politically correct. Well, you know what? Everybody has a right to protest. Yeah, we all have a right to protest. We don't have the right to be criminal. We don't have the right to beat up police cars, burn up police cars, pull people out of the tractor trailers and burn their tractor trailers up. It's not a protest. That's a riot. And I swear, everybody ought to be glad that I'm not down there in North Carolina, because I would be. Those greasy, sleazy criminals, either black or white, I'd show you how quick I'd get rid of them. Yeah, pop one in the head, take a bullet and shoot one right between the eyes, and I guarantee you don't have to worry about none of these police cars getting burned up. And see, when a police car gets burned up or a building gets burned up, here comes the fire department. And you people understand how much money, tax dollars are costing us? Millions and millions on every incident. But here comes a fireman. He tries to put out that tractor trailer. He gets caught in it, and he gets burned up. So do you see the residual effect? So let's stop it at the source, people. Think about it. All those people there, criminals, not protesters, beating the hell, jumping on police cars like a bunch of monkeys. And I don't mean black monkeys, monkeys black and white. Just animals. Animals. But take one, listen to me, and I'm about 2/3 nuts, but take one that's trying to burn something down. That's arson. That could put the whole town on fire. And you want to save lives, so you pop one right between the eyes and that head blows up. Guarantee you ain't going to have to worry about another son of a bitch protesting that night at least. They'll all be running the 100-yard dash in world record time. We got it. And I'm being a little melodramatic. Well, yeah, a little melodramatic. But don't you people understand? We better get behind our professional law enforcement, not the few bums with badges. That's why we have a judicial system. That's why we have a court system. Let's let the courts decide. When are we letting protesters, black and white, these bums, these crap bums, these criminals, why do we let them decide our fate? We have to get this under control, people, because if we don't, we're all going to be in trouble. We don't have to worry about the terrorists. Are you crazy? We got to worry about our idiots. We got to stop it, people. We've got to get behind our professional law enforcement, not the few bums with the badges. Let's put them in jail. You a policeman with the badge and you kill somebody not justifiably, you're not a professional police officer. You're a bum with the badge. Let's get rid of them. But let's don't hold the entire law enforcement community responsible for a couple ass wipes. You saw that in Charlotte last night. They're jumping up on police cars. They're tearing the hell out of that town because a black man was shot by a black police officer. The black man, the black thug had a gun. That police officer was protecting his life, and I want to salute him for that. Now it can't be black on white. It was a white police officer. Now it's a black police officer. It's going to be anymore. Oh, you stop that black man. We're going to have a riot. You better quit stopping black men. You better quit stopping this. You better quit doing that. We're going to tie our police officers' hands, and the criminals are going to take over this country. We're worried about the terrorists. We're not worried about the jihadist terrorists. We need to worry about our homegrown idiots, our homegrown criminals. That's who's destroying our country. Think about it, people. We got to stick together. We can't let them being the few, divide and conquer us. There's a lot of people, the silent majority, would never stand for this. Let's quit becoming silent. Let's become vocal, not violent, but vocal, and get behind our country. And getting behind our country is getting behind our law enforcement, getting behind the people that protect us. And you politicians, I call you all out. You're a major cause of this because you let this crap go because you want to be politically correct. Politically correct my ass. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow, same time, same place. This crazy, ignorant son of a bitch, Bob Romanik, will be here today and every day until they put a bullet between my eyes. But people, we will continue to expose these rotten bastards. I believe you people are starting to understand. You good people all throughout St. Clair County, all throughout this state of Illinois, are beginning to understand the severity of this political corruption. So let's continue to listen to what I say, then research it, and you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at this culture of corruption. You'll be amazed at the underbelly of this politically corrupt organization that we call the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee. So let's continue to unite, join together to make this a better country. We can elect Democrats, Republican, men, women, black and white. Let's elect the people that are going to do for us, our community, our country. We're going to be positive, not these asswipes stealing no good money grubbing bastards that we call political politicians, these perverted son of a bitches. And let's continue to expose them, drag them over the political coals of hell, whatever the hell that means. I mean, maybe we just put them in a vat of acid, political acid, of course. And when it's all said and done, you know the routine. You know the routine. We have to destroy these bastards, these political, parasitical punks. We have to destroy them before they destroy us, our families, and future generations. Destroy them politically, of course. I hate to say that, but I don't want to go to jail for threats. So politically, of course, and I do mean that. No violence. No violence. Let's do that. Hell, I don't even know where I'm going. Let's get out of here. On the dark side, and I'm pissed. Let's go.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.